don't even know. You don't even know what we do at the Clique. By the way, this call is being recorded. After now, it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and definitely you can always go back to see or to take your time to go over the session, right? So before I get to introduce our speaker fully, it's important you know what we do at the Clique. The Clique is an edtech startup. We're an edtech startup, right? And what we are focused on doing is we are focused on bridging the digital skill gap in Africa and empowering individuals and businesses, particularly the next generation, for digital success and transformation. So you might ask, how do we go about empowering the next generation for digital success and transformation? We have a few of our offerings. One, we have our education and training services. Currently, we have the Click Mentorship Program that runs for a period of 10 weeks. So it's a structured mentorship designed to equip individuals with digital skills, career strategies, and business growth techniques. So whether you're a career changer, whether you're trying to gain or need help with accountability, or you're trying to get into the market to acquire clients, to get visibility, just to understand how to improve your business for for growth, then you need the Click mentorship, right? And it spans for 10 weeks. Currently, we are making plans to launch the Click Academy. It will be launched very, very soon. Let's just say in a few weeks' time. The plan had begun a while back, since last year, and we would be launching very soon. For a start, we'll be having about 4 tracks: leadership and entrepreneurship, digital marketing, which we have other aspect of marketing, right? We also have video editing, graphic design, and motion design will also be in one of the tracks, right? We offer workshops and boot camps, specialized trainings, mostly paid trainings. We also have the PRO, marketing and talent management aspect. So what we actually do in that regard is we help startup MSMEs develop and execute marketing plans, right? What we also do is that we support professionals, creators, freelancers in also building sustainable careers community. We've created a space for professionals, newbies, entrepreneurs to network and what grow through collaboration. And I believe most of you came from the community. Lastly, we also have the internship and career support. So we're also making plans for this, where we get to partner with other businesses to provide real world experience to most of our mentees, particularly for those um, that come out of the mentorship program, or for those that graduate from the academic. So we try to place them somewhere where they could gain real life experience, that's hands-on real world experience, right? So that it could help them gain more experience and boost their career. And likewise, we have the career development programs where we get to revamp CVs. We get to help people optimize their their LinkedIn profile, and also help them with job search strategies. So these are some of the ways that we help to bridge the digital skill gaps in Africa, and we do that through education, mentorship, and strategic career growth. Now, that being said, this is where I get to introduce our speaker. So just give me a minute. You would definitely be hearing from our speaker very, very soon, right? His name is, I like to call him Toy Olutosi Akanola. Yes, he's a 3D motion designer specializing in animation, look development, and storytelling. With a strong eye for design, lighting, and movement, he creates visually striking motion pieces that blend artistic direction with technical precision. His expertise spans concept development, style frames, and 3D animation with a deep focus on composition, detail, and dynamic motion. He's also passionate about pushing creative boundaries. He continuously refines his approach to animation and visual storytelling, ensuring each project is both engaging and emotionally impactful. Currently, he works as a freelance 3D generalist and is currently building a portfolio of high quality work while seeking opportunities with international design studios. With some emojis, guys, with some emojis, I would like to see some emojis before our speaker comes on board. So I'd like to see some emojis to be sure that you're in this session with me. With some emojis, with some emojis. I'll pass the mic right now to our speaker. I know he can hear me, of course, and it's time for him to speak.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 we can hear you. Good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, maybe.
You're
And
welcome.
it click also. It's a very great privilege to be able to share knowledge and a little bit of what I know. I'm always happy sharing knowledge, so I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much. I will be sharing my screen in a couple of minutes. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen?
Yeah, yeah, it's on.
Yeah, we
All
can
right.
see your screen.
Yeah, so Olukoyese, and I'm a 3D motion designer. I saw the whole profile and everything um very read, and it might be a little bit confusing understanding all those, words. But then for for professionalism's sake, you have to, sell stories and you know put all those English, that kind of stuff. So in like a nutshell, I'm gonna play my reel and see in like 1 minute what all those big English is about and what I do. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, in a nutshell, that's just like sneak peek into what I do. And I hope you like understand the whole English and everything from the profile now. So yeah, today we're gonna be speaking on design for profit, unveiling opportunities to build a thriving career. I mean, it's okay to like want to design because you're passionate and you like, creating beautiful works and all. But then if you are not making money from it, it can become a little bit, not a little bit, frustrating actually, because money makes the world go round here. So you want to be able to enjoy what you're doing, but at the same time make money from it to be able to continue. Because I mean, if you have bills to pay and stuff to do, and then you can't do them because you're not making enough money, then design just becomes one hell of a thing. Why should we talk about making money with design? We need to talk about it because sometimes a lot of people shy away from it, and whatever you shy away from, you might not, get a hang of it, and it hurts you in return. Many creatives struggle with like monetizing their skills. The industry is growing and competition is also increasing, and understanding business and strategy to help you, navigate the entire design ecosystem, because it's like a fast changing ecosystem, and if you don't know what to do, you might get obsolete so fast and stop making money. So my journey no be today where you start. So I started right from secondary school. So how it happened was I was done with secondary school, and then definitely when everybody is waiting for admission to get into the university, you have to like look for something to do and all. So I applied for the usual business center computer training stuff where they teach you Excel and Microsoft Office, all those kind of stuff. But the person that was teaching those things happened to be like my teacher in secondary school, junior secondary, to be precise then. So we're a little bit closer. And he happened to be doing graphic design then. So one of the packages then was, learning Corel Draw, doing all these designs, flyers and banners for, churches mostly then. So that was where I started from. I learned Corel Draw, you know. By the time I was done with the training, admission came, and then I went to school. And that's where it began like you discover that there's still a lot to learn, and there's more to learn in like this design industry than Corel Draw. So my first taste of becoming almost obsolete was when a friend of mine reached out to me. He's into real estate now. His name is Ebuka. Then he was not into real estate. He's into event promotion in school. And then he reached out to me. I was like, his graphic designer messed up. He needs me to design something for him and all this, stuff very fast. He needs it. And then I did something for him in CorelDRAW. And then he was like, ah, this is not what I was looking for. And then he showed me what he was looking for. I knew a little bit of Photoshop then, but I wasn't using it because I feel like I was comfortable with CorelDRAW. And then he he showed me what he was looking for, and I knew the only software that could get me that result was Photoshop. But my knowledge in Photoshop then was, let me say, 10%. So I had to adjust. And then by the time I was done with the flyer, I was impressed. He was impressed. And then that was where I switched to Photoshop. Mind you, I've been hearing Photoshop is the best design for software before this time, but I never took it seriously. And at that point, it became like, okay, now I have to learn it. So I had to go search for like industry standard softwares and saw that CorelDRAW is like on the back foot, and then learn, all these other softwares and everything. Then I started design for brands, a lot of brands. I've lost count of how many brands I've designed for. And then at some point, I was looking for bigger challenges. And then I decided to probably try UI UX. And then I was like, you know what? This is still really close to what I was doing. And then I decided to switch to 3D motion. And this was fast forward to 2022. And then I learned 3D, learned Cinema 4D, did a couple of projects, and then here we are. So I hope my story wasn't boring and it was inspirational. So that was where I started from. The market, the demand for creative professional is still like, you know, demanding right now. But then you might feel like it's the opposite due to like, the whole emergence of AI and everything. You might think um the demand for creative professionals are not much. But it's quite the opposite because we start having we started having different media screens and media and information channels. Considering like before where we can only get information was like on the TV, and then the work was like a little bit limited. And then there was social media, and then there's VR, and then there's like this whole different channels. And the more channels we have, the more demand for people to create content for those channels. So there's a lot of demand for creative professionals, branding, motion graphics, gaming, a lot. And one thing you should keep at the back of your mind, it's a very, very important thing when you know you want to make money in the industry. Businesses need creative. Now, one of the reasons why people might undercharge or have this doubt of like charging what they want to charge is the fact that sometimes businesses make them feel like what you're doing is optional, or um is it not just design you're doing for us? So why do you want to charge that much? Don't let that get to you. Just keep it at the back of your mind that businesses need creative, and you are that important. For marketing, for storytelling, for branding, you're that important to them because you can create your product from today till tomorrow. If there is no proper designer to help you sell it to your audience, the product will waste. So just keep that at the back of your mind that you are a very important piece in their strategy. Where is the money? Now let's know that like I don't want to I don't want to limit it to Nigeria, but for the sake of like this context, in Nigeria we clown people that have like full-time job a little bit, you know, try to be like freelance work, work from home, blah 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 type shit. So like wherever you decide to do your work, it's profitable. That's why I put it here. All options are profitable. Be it a full-time job, be it a freelance work, or be it that you decide to do business and entrepreneurship, that's like starting your own agency or you know expanding your business. There is money in all of them. Now let's look at the difference between freelance, full-time, and building your own design business. First, you need to know what you want. When I mean you need to know what you want, there's a lot of people who have this herd mentality here. Na freelance they no, or na this one they no. And you tend to just follow the crowd, and then you don't even know what you. So for freelance, you have more control, but your income can be inconsistent. As a freelancer, you can be the richest man in the world today, and then tomorrow you're begging for bread. That's like the biggest context I can put to how freelance is. You make a very big bag today, and then tomorrow you don't even know where to subscribe your data. That's how crazy freelance is. But it has its own perk. Its perk is that you have more control on your income. You can charge whatever you want to charge. You have power over your rate. You have more control over your project too, because you're like going through like the ideation, everything and all. So you tend to charge what you want to charge. But then when you charge $5,000 today, and then there's no other client that can charge $5,000 for the next 3 days, but the first $5,000 has finished, and then there you are again, back to square one. That's an overview of the freelance lifestyle. On the other hand, we have full time, where the pay might not be as much as freelance, because the pay is, subject to what your employer is going to pay you. Even though there are some full time people that they earn very high, and you can enjoy your time as a full time designer, you get, but it limits your creative freedom. Like I said, in freelance, you have power over your creative process, how you go from point A to point Z in your project. But as a full-time designer, you're just a piece in in the whole project, right? So for example, I'll use the 3D design world as an example. So in 3D, there's a place where you have to learn how to model, you have to learn how to animate, you have to learn how to light and texture stuff, and then you still have like compositing when you're done with all those things. Only one person can do them if you're a freelancer, even though it's stressful, but you can learn all of them and do them. But when you're doing full time, you are most likely just going to focus on the one you're best at when you're doing full time. So, say for example, me, when if I want to do a full time in like 2D design industry, I could just decide to focus on only animation with any agency I'm focused on. I have the stability of the income. I can do um I can do my animation whenever there's an animation project. But all I know is that whether there's project or not, my money is coming at the end of the month. But freelance is not like that. Freelance, you have to go on for clients yourself. In full time, there's like a whole department hunting for clients. You don't have to bother about that. All you know is once it's time for animation, you come up. Those are the perks of like full time. On the flip side, your income is capped. You can't increase it. It's just there. It's whatever your employer can pay you. You have to stick with. And all. Business, on the other hand, is a bit risky, because you don't even know if it's going to be successful, but it has a higher reward, because now you are an agency, and agencies tend to like charge a lot more. So if a freelancer is charging $10,000 and a full-time is earning $5,000 per month, an agency can charge as much as $100,000 for a project. But you need to work really, really hard to get there as an agent, as an agency, I mean, because and I don't really think there's anybody that even done like the agency part, which is the business part, without going through a little bit of full time and freelance. Because in fact, I would suggest if you want to start an agency, you have to have like a full time experience with an agency before, or a company, so you know how to go about your own. I know um of a man. His name is Datendema, and Datendema is He's the CEO of ABC, already been chilled. You guys might not be experienced with all these names, but just it's a studio in USA. And when he was working full time with the company, there was a time he sent a job on like a Tuesday night or so, Tuesday evening, and the deadline was like Friday. And the person that was meant to approve the project didn't check the submission from Tuesday down to like Friday night when he was back with his family and everything. And then they started demanding a correction Friday night. And he told them to fuck off. Like he's not doing anything like that because he doesn't why was the job on your table since Tuesday and you're just getting back to me on Friday when I'm meant to have family time with my family, right? And he said he made a promise to himself if he's ever going to start an agency, he's never going to be that type of person. Work time is work time. And then after work, everybody goes back to their home to focus on other things in their life. If he didn't have a full-time experience with a studio, he wouldn't even really know how to run his own studio, right? So that's why I said I would suggest if you want to start an agency, you have to have like a full-time experience and a little bit of freelance, just a little bit of both, and then you can have a better experience as a founder of an agency. So, monetization strategies for your work. There are different ways to make money in design, but design is not enough. You have to learn the business part of it. And you always have to even know different ways to make money from design and not just by the work you do, right? So you can make money from clients' work, you can make money through passive income, and then you can make money, leveraging on it like your personal brand. Clients' work will come, and the best way for you to make money with clients' work is to learn how to price your services effectively. Yeah. I'll still go a little bit deeper as we go down this slide. You have to learn how to price your services effectively to be able to get the most money out of clients' work. Passive income. Now, passive income is it's cool. It's all like they make it like look shiny and all, but passive income is always like active first before it even becomes passive because the assets, the courses, the templates, and everything you're selling is not going to come out of the blue. You have to actively work on them over time before they start bringing in. Personally, I tried a form of passive income at some point, but I failed. Was then that was as a designer, though. I was trying to I was trying to design templates and assets to sell on Clique, but then not like I failed, but too much clients work got in the way, and I just gave up on the idea. But bottom line is passive income is not as easy as it looks. But if you're to make money in your passive income, you have to work hard, and then the money will eventually come. Passive income money is like saying if you're able to stick through the active side of creating the passive income, you really really enjoy the money. Then personal brand. So a very big example of personal brand is Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk is someone that even he has like three companies, but most news or info about the company still comes from like his page on Twitter, gives updates and everything. That's a very powerful representation of what a personal brand is. Someone else that I know though that is like a personal brand is a 3D designer that I I follow. I don't know if I can show you his Instagram page. the way he built his personal brand, and that's one thing I want to let you know about personal brand. Yeah, thing about personal brand is thing about personal brand is you don't even know what you want to do until you start doing something. You tend to um you tend to figure it out. Let me put it that way. Figure it out. So you can see he has 204K followers. And he said most of his clients has come from Instagram. And basically, in a nutshell, his personal brand is that he posts content every single day, like every single day. I'm sure this should probably be today's own. Yeah, 1 hour ago. You can see how many posts he has. 2,669. That's what he's known for. That's his personal brand. He posts every day. And the only thing he does in 3 days is food. He only sculpts and renders food. So basically his niche is he creates food digitally for food brands and all those stuff. And it has worked for him over time. But for the sake of time, I can't scroll down his page. It didn't start with food at first. But what I knew he started with was doing his daily renders. Started doing his daily renders, doing random stuff, cartoon characters and everything. And at some point, he did a food, and people liked it, and it was like, okay, let's do more of this. And then he did more of it, and before you know it, it started picking up that way, and boom, he blew up, started getting followers. He's never he's never really free. He's never really free. But one thing though is when the clients started coming, he never stopped what his identity was, which is pushing out work daily, like as a daily render, and food. That's his identity. That's his personal brand. Yours could be something else. Yours could be something else. But personal brand is definitely a very big way to leverage. You have to leverage on social media to attract clients and attract money subsequently. This guy that I just showed you is Instagram page. His name is Patrick. Let me stop calling him this guy. Patrick is I think the last ZBrush is the software he uses. He was the one that designed that's for last year. He was the one that designed the splash screen for it. And the only reason he was able to design splash screen for it is because he built his identity around using that software to create daily renders, then create food. That way, the software company recognized him. They invite him to come and speak. And then from there, they even told him, okay, do our splash screen. And then from there, more brands saw him. And then, money upon money upon money and income and income and income. Crazy. That's how um, great building a personal brand can be. So if you want to make money in the design industry, one thing you should know how to do is positioning. You have to learn how to position, work hard smartly. You can work hard and make nothing. So that's why I said smartly. Because I don't really support the fact that people be like work smart, not stuff. I believe if you are working smart, you have to work hard smartly on that stuff, you think works. Don't just work hard for, don't just work smart, but work smart. You get what I mean? So if you want to position yourself to make more money um in the industry, in the design industry, you have to showcase your expertise and storytelling ability. And the only way to do that is with a portfolio, right? So when I mean showcase your expertise and storytelling ability, so one thing people make mistake of doing is posting like their final works online. So like you just designed a flyer, you just did a logo, and you just posted it online like that. There are 1 million logo designers. There are 1 million flyer designers. A lot of, but what makes yours different? That's where storytelling comes in. And the best way to do storytelling is, through like case studies. Case studies are like the best way to do storytelling. I'll give you I'll give you a an example. For example, I and someone, we are trying to apply for a logo design job. The person sends two logo options, just two. Fine logos, though, they are really, really fine. Probably finer than the one I did. Then I come with my own two logo options. But not just the two logo options. I explained how I got to the final option and my thought process, from concepting, sketching, the noun and the words I combined together to come to that conclusion, how I constructed it and how it works, put the context, put it in like billboards, mock-ups, all those kind of things, and how it works. Who do you think is going to get the job? Even though the other person's logo is better. I need someone to answer, so I'm sure I'm not talking to myself. Apparently, I'm talking to myself.
Sorry,
So we okay.
I didn't get the question very well. Sorry.
So there are two individuals. They are both logo designer, right? One person, they want to apply for a job. One person submits two fine logos, but the only thing in the submission is just the logo. The other individual submitted the logo, but in addition to the logo submission, explained how it got from point A to point Z in the logo. Like, for example, concepting the logo, um, a lot of references, sketching, you know, storyboarding, whatever I want to call it, and how he got to, do the logo. And then after that, went on to put the logo on mock-ups like billboards, you know, context in which the logo works, and how his decision in making that logo helps with the usage of the logo. Who will get the job?
The second person
Is
was
that a
the second
question?
person.
Yeah, it's a question.
Of course, the one that makes
The
the best
second person.
presentation.
Why?
The presentation and the storyboarding, like taking a client from point A to point Z. So it's going to make the client understand because based on experience, majority of the clients turn down logos because they don't really understand or like buy into the idea behind the logo.
Nice. So the same thing when you're trying to showcase your portfolio. Everything you want to do in your portfolio, you have to have a story behind it because anybody can just come up with anything. It's just what it is. But your storytelling ability, your ability to make money is really dependent on your storytelling ability. That's just the short form of what I'm talking about. You have to be able to tell your stories properly. So, at different ways you can do that. If you feel like if you want to do a portfolio and you're actually done with the project and probably you didn't document your process when you were done with the project, from now on just have like on Twitter. Twitter is like my favorite place where you can always post update on like, your, except if the work is like has like some NDA and you can't show it until it's done or something. But I don't think most jobs you get like will be like that. So you can show the sketch, um, draw your mood boards, everything, and logo. So day one could be you posting the sketch. Day two will be you showing all the construction in Illustrator or whatever software you're using, creating the logo. Day three will be the final logo. Day four could be the colors. Day five could be why you are going with this logo option. And then day six could be clients went with this one because. So that's one way to show your process. And then at the same time, when you're showing your process, remember what we're talking about personal brand. That's literally one of the stressless way of building personal brand. That's literally like one of the stressless way of pushing personal. And if you're scared of posting online or you're scared of pushing your work online, I'm really sorry. You can't make money. There's no better way to put it because there's a quote I saw somewhere um, that says, I don't know how they said it like properly, but the summary of the quote says, shy people get nothing, and that's exactly what they deserve. Nothing. Shy people get nothing, and that's exactly what. If you want to make money, you cannot be shy. So you have to learn how to tell story properly, show up online and tell story. My my own way of showing up online was last year I did daily renders, 366 days of daily renders. I was posting every single day online, Instagram and Twitter, every single day. And guess what happened? Even people that I kind of look forward to in the industry that I never thought I would get attention from start following me. You know that moment when you're like, this person is like Oga Pata Pata in the industry. But just because you show up every day, they follow you. That's just my own part of saying you can't be shy. Just show up every day. And if the reason you're shy is because of what people will say, I'm sorry, but those people won't feed you. And people will always talk regardless. Even people that I respect in the industry, one of my heroes, his name is Sekani. He's like my greatest influence. One day someone told him his work is big. I was like, bro, what? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean Sekani's work is big? That's how crazy the internet is. If they can tell someone that you look up to that his work is big, then you that you are starting out, you are not safe. And if you know that you're not safe, then don't be scared. Show up online, post your work, post your rough work, post your work in progress, post your finished work. If someone is nice enough, they can give you constructive criticism. If they are not, well, let them go. Don't pay attention to whatever anybody is saying. But the goal is you're showing up every day. And then it might not look like it, but someone is watching. Like, I kid you not, someone is watching. And that's the reason why you have to like show up every day. Someone is watching. You don't know who the person is, but someone is watching. There's a story of someone where he posts video every day and probably gets like 12 views or 16 views or so. And probably 10 out of it is like his mom or some random friends. And then one day he was invited by Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was part of the 12 view. That's how crazy the internet is. And that's why you have to leverage the use of internet. and how you have to show up every day if you want to really make money. So don't care about what everybody is saying or whatever. Just show up, show us your storytelling ability and your expertise, and put it in your portfolio. Another way to stand out in like a crowded market and position is by specializing. So, for example, I just show you Patrick. That's all Patrick does. Food, digital food. He calls himself the digital chef. So he just sculpts food digitally, and that's his specialty, and he's making money. Nobody, if they ask you a digital someone that can sculpt food now, his name is going to be number one. Gordon Ramsay of 3D. Basically, that's how specializing and I feel like specializing and personal branding goes. Yeah, though you have to be careful with specializing because it has its own downside. Remember when I was talking about full-time gigs where you probably just animate in a studio, or let me put it in the context of graphic design. Yours might just be to design a logo, someone else is to animate the logo, someone else is to design the brand guideline, someone else to design flyers for the brand, like in a full-time scenario. But me and you know, like sometimes one person can do all these things, right? So the goal will be, even if you want to work as a full-time and you want to specialize, please and please know these other stuff. Because if you want to make money and you don't know some of this other stuff, before your specialty starts paying you like the way knowing everything will pay you, you have to like know a little bit of everything because they will come in handy. So for example, in 3D, like I said, there's a lot of stuff you can do. But the goal is you have to learn how to model, you have to learn how to animate, you have to learn how to composite. Not because you'll be doing it every time, but because there are some times that it's only compositing work that is available, or there are sometimes it's only animation work that is available. What will you do? Just because you are just model, then you don't have a way to make money at that point. So that's like the downside of like specializing. But if you have something you want to specialize on, pay more attention to those things, or have other things you can do in that field to support you while you're trying to build that your specialty in that area. So let's say you want to be a brand designer, it's fine, but know how to do flyers, know how to do product design, know how to um animate videos, something, everything, and then um by the time you're done specializing in your brand and everything comes to play, fine, you can leave all those other things and then focus on your brand design. But you still have to know a little bit of all these things because specializing early on is very risky. You won't easily make money. You won't easily make money. And then another thing you can use to position yourself to make money is to build relationships for career growth. I feel like that one is like self-explanatory. Yeah? Build a lot of relationship with people. Build relationship with people online. I just told you, gave my own example. Posted every day in 2024. Connected with industry leaders I never thought we know I exist or whatever. And those are the relationship there. I had someone like there was a collaboration I did last year. And I is the guy is so I have like two mentors in my neighborhood. I call them heroes. But let me just for the sake of understanding, let's call them mentors. After you know what it means when like after collaborating on a project with on something, you get a message unprovoked from your mentor telling you congratulations. That's how showing up every day and connecting with building relationship is like. And the best way to do that is, you know, use the internet. Now, I don't know, a lot of people use LinkedIn, but LinkedIn has not really been my thing. I prefer Twitter. But if it's LinkedIn, fine. build a lot of relationships on LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn people are a little bit sometimes too fake, or everybody is everybody got their shit right on. I feel like it's not like that. I feel like Twitter is a little bit more brutal, but I feel it's a better place to connect with people because nobody is hiding under professionalism or something. So you can meet raw, unfiltered version of people there and you connect. IG2 is a very good place. I know. So looking onto this place, if you know someone in the industry, so let's say for example, you know someone like Victor Fatomi that does um branding and stuff, and you like their stuff, engage with their post on social media, comment, like, do everything. Before you know it, they start noticing your name, you know, oh, this guy. Before you know it, you guys are having interaction. Before you know it, they follow you. And you guys, before you know it, you can enter their DMs and be like, so something. Before you know it, an upgrade comes from there. So that's one thing about positioning to make money. Positioning to make money. These things are very important. I hope everybody is getting what I'm saying. Yeah. Tools and skills
Yes,
for
yes, yes.
success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tools and skills for success. So I understand like maybe we might be impatient to get to the money talk, but this all these things I'm talking about are like the foundations because I believe like when people are talking about money or business, we're quick to go and talk about you have to charge so amount of money or but the underlying effect of making this big money are all these things I'm talking about, right? So work with me. The tools and skills you need for your success, you're always a beginner. Have the beginner's mindset in everything you're doing. You're always a beginner. There's this quote that if you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room. If you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room. Always make sure you are in a room where you are like the least experienced. That way you can learn more. And once you outgrow that room, move to another. So you are always a beginner. Tools and skills for success, industry standard tools. Always make sure you learn industry standard tools. Remember when I told my story about using CorelDRAW and then switch to Photoshop? Learning is very can be a little bit hard sometimes. So before you start learning anything, a software, whatever you need for a project or whatever field you're in, please just research the industry standard for that field and know the industry standard softwares they use. So you can learn the industry standard software once and for all. It increases your margin of employability. Because if, for example, they are using um, Photoshop, Illustrator, and the Adobe Suite in the company, and you say, and you know how to design, your designs are fine, but it's CorelDRAW you know how to use. It's only on rare occasions where they can overlook the softwares you use and say we'll find a workaround. Most times they'll just be like, "Oh, thank you. We look for someone that uses software we use." Not because you're not good, but because to start figuring out how CorelDRAW will fit into our workflow, yeah, that we're already using Adobe is harder. So please, when you're using, when you're looking for tools to learn for your trade, make sure you use industry standard tools. But beyond that, is those are like the technical knowledge and everything. But beyond that, you have to own your communication, negotiation, and your business acumen. Communication must be really good. You have to learn how to negotiate properly too, and you have to have like business acumen to be able to have success. And another thing is continuous learning to stay ahead of like the industry trends. One thing about communication is Like there are like different ways you communicate, and it will go either good or bad. That's why I feel like there are courses where you can take that just focus on soft skills, on how to do, be able to communicate properly, negotiate on your business agreement. We're still going to go a little bit in details when it comes to negotiation and communication or business acumen. Uh, leverage AI and technology. Leverage AI and technology. Now, the thing here is that a lot of people are scared of AI. I was scared of AI because I felt like oh sorry, I said AI because I have H factor. I'm a Yoruba person, so bear with me. So um you have to leverage on AI and technology to be able to like move around. You'll be left behind if you don't embrace AI. Just take it as a tool that you use in your process, but just make sure it's not like your end result. It's just a beginning part of your um of your process when it comes to work, right? So for example, when it comes to um my own field, I use AI to generate references because before you start like 3D and all, you sometimes want to have a visual direction of what your work will look like. AI is a very big tool to help with that. So leverage on AI. Then to stay relevant too, you have to learn how to use AI tools because if you want to be a traditional person and you are not you don't want to be a traditional person and you don't want to learn AI, the designers that use AI will end up taking like your job and you won't be able to make money in design. So always learn the new technology that comes out, but be careful, don't overlearn. Learn the one that is useful for you, leave the rest out. Yeah. So that's how to leverage AI and technology, you know, for design profit and making money in design, basically. So how do you create a sustainable career as a designer? Making money is the first step, right? Making money is the first step. One thing you should know is when you make money, you have to learn how to keep it. A lot of people think you can always make money and then the source will always be there, but it's not always like that. So diversify your income streams and don't rely on one source of income. As it, I won't lie to you, you can't rely on one source of income. So every month when you make some bread, cut out a particular percentage and throw it into something you can that can give you money back. So for example, you can trade stocks on bamboo, invest in stocks and all those things. Those are like the safer options. If you want to go on the more risky side, you can do meme coins and not a financial advice. You can do crypto and meme coins and all that stuff. But the goal is to make sure you're still making money from all those other sources. Because one source of income is very risky and you can't you can't keep on relying on one source of income. So after you make your money, don't spend everything or spend everything, save a part, and then just leave it that way. You have to make the money, you have to save it, and you have to invest some part of it. You have to plan your finances too to be able to do this. Remember when I said as a freelancer, you're rich today and you're begging for bread tomorrow? The what causes that kind of situation is if you don't plan your finances. And The best way to plan your finances is to have a budget, always have a budget every month. Budget for this, budget for that. And whatever your budget doesn't cover is not necessary. You can also have a budget for miscellaneous to help, cover those kind of things. So plan your finances and manage your earnings properly. That's after you make money. And then um learn how to balance creativity and business to avoid burnout. So the thing here is the reason why you have to avoid burnout is when you are burnt out, you overwork yourself and you won't be able to work. And if you are not able to work, you won't be able to bring in income. So learn how to take rest, learn how to take a break from work, go out, touch grass, all those kind of stuff. Those are like the ways to like sustain your career and your money. Yeah. Overcoming creative challenges. Now to the main how to make money, because I know a lot of people really want to see how um you can make money and they have been waiting. So for you to overcome some of the challenges as a designer when you're not, you have to make sure you find a solution for inconsistent income. That's like one of the bad side of, or one of the things as a designer or struggle that doesn't make inconsistent income. So maybe this week you have one job, and then for the next 3 weeks there's no job and all that. But to build financial stability, you have to understand value-based pricing, and that's the cure for your pricing struggles, right? Value-based pricing. What's value-based pricing? Value-based pricing is a pricing strategy where you set your rate based on the perceived value of your work to the client, right? So rather than just your time, effort, and industry standard, whatever, instead of charging hourly, in my field, we charge hourly or something, or by project complexity. Value-based pricing, make sure you charge based on the results and the impact your work brings to the client business. If you remember at the beginning, when I said something about you have to have it at the back of your mind that as a designer, you are important to your client business. That's where value-based pricing comes in. You have to you have to believe you are valuable before you can be able to charge valuable prices, right? Now, if you want to charge properly for your value, there are three things you have to know. You have to understand your client goal. Ask how your work is going to impact the money they'll make, their brand and their engagement and everything. Once you understand that, you know the kind of value you need to create for the job, and you set your price based on how much you can help them to make. How another tip you can use to make sure you're charging based on value is to showcase your ROI. Because believe it or not, if a client wants to pay you very big money, they are making an investment. And for you to be able to charge that way, you have to show them that this is an investment and they're not throwing away their. That's the only way they can bring out their money from their pocket. That's the only way they can perceive, oh, this person has value to keep. So you have to showcase return on investment. So present case studies or examples of how your work has helped your past clients achieve their business success. So for example, you could be like, this particular company recently they branded, I did their rebrand, and their followers on IG went from 100 followers to 1 million followers. That way, they know the value they are paying for. They're like, oh, oh, and they saw, and we showed them, and they see that it's true. That way, they're like, oh, we are ready to give you our take all our money because we want the same result. So value-based pricing is your ultimate cure to making money in this in design. Value, they pay you and they get the value of what they're paying you for. They are investing into the value you can give their company. Now, when you want to price, after these two tips, which is understanding your client goals, and then you showcase the ROI of what your work will do for them, that's where you anchor your price to the outcome. So instead of saying this work will cost $2,000 to make, right? You say this branding will help you gain more audience, which in return is going to buy your product, right? Which in return will give you a community based or a loyalty to your brand. And for this reason, I'll charge you $10,000, right? Now see how it goes from guy, I want design logo. How much you go charge me? Logo na 50K. Oh, okay. Send your account. Right. From there, you can go to see this logo I'm going to do for you is going to make your brand feel premium, and it will make your brand compete with competitors, right? Give you more followers and everything. Sell the value of the logo to them, not the logo itself. That way, I'm just using logo as an example. Put this context into any services, everything you're doing, right? That way, they tend to think from a different angle, like, oh, ah, this logo I want to collect now. If I pay this money, I'm going to make more money because this is what this logo is going to do for me. Not just a fine logo. So if a logo costs 2,000 and you say it costs 2,000, they'll pay you 2,000. That's it. But you can get down to 10,000 and $10,000 from that project if you simply just say, this is what this logo I'm going to create to do for you. There's a man named Sagi Aviv. He's a legendary logo designer. Sagi Aviv is, when it comes to logo, is like one of my greatest people. And so when he wanted to design a logo, they designed their logos is like, so Sagi Aviv is one of the guys owners of the company. The company is CGF or CGS, Shamayev Gazma Aviv, CGH, sorry. That's the name of the branding company. They've done big brandings for like US Open, Mobile. That's the brands that they did and all. And that's how they sell their work to make more money. They don't tell you we're going to do more logo for you, $1,000. Tell you this logo we are going to do for you. This is what it's going to do. When we put it on this poster, when we put it on this banner, when you use this for this advertisement and put it on your social media and this kind of stuff, this kind of attention is going to grow. It's going to be more audience. It's going to make sure your audience change from young people to elite people, and in return, your business is going to make more money. That's how you change from what you're charging now to value-based pricing. I repeat myself, value-based pricing is your cure to not making enough money in design. Once you switch to value-based pricing, you're good to go. You're going to make a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. I need, I don't know,
Yes,
a voice or something to let me know I'm saying
yes.
something meaningful. Yep. Thank you very much. So value-based pricing. Um, back to financial stability. Yeah, yeah, things you can do to make sure like you have financial stability. So let's assume you're using the value-based pricing now and you're making money. You don't just go on, you made $10,000 from a project. You don't just go on spending the whole $10,000 waiting for the next $10,000 project, right? The $10,000 project might be the one you work on for the next one comes in like a month's time or two. What do you do in those times? Right. That's where diversifying your income comes in. That's where passive income comes in. You can use those free time to create templates, create mock-ups, create branding guidelines, and sell them. Those free times, that's what you use those free times to do. So those free times are not just free. Those free times are for you to, you know, create more assets and stuff to help you make more money. On the other hand, you have to save consistently. You have to really, really save. Make it an habit to save. Good rule of thumb is at least save 10% of your income. But in Nigeria, we know 10% of your income is not good enough saving. So let's increase it to like 20 to 30% of your monthly earnings. Make sure you save. Like I'm seriously, it's a very good plan. Because if you save, it's going to save you a lot. It's going to save you a lot. And another thing too is to charge strategically, which is what we talked about, value-based pricing. Sell value. That's the best way to earn very big in design. Sell value, not just an item or a service. Sell the value of that service, not the service itself. Help them understand. That's where your skill of storytelling comes in. To sell the value of what you're doing. Emotions. Humans are emotional beings. Tell the story of the value of your services and they tend to connect with it and they tend to bring out money from their pocket to pay you for it. Most of the most of the successful brands and industries thrive on emotions. See fashion, emotional loyalty, whatever. So that's one thing you should strive towards, value-based price. How to land clients and projects. For you to be able to land client and project that you're going to use this value-based pricing on, you have to leverage the internet. I think I've touched that earlier, so I don't think I'll probably want to go on and on talking about it again. LinkedIn, Behance, Dribble. Since my Behance blew up, I don't know, before I used to think Behance is like a dead space, but I get a lot of requests from Behance these days. At least maybe like once a day I get requests from Behance. I was shocked. Like I thought Behance is just a normal, just post your design and go. I had to even download before I didn't have the app on my phone. I had to download the app on my phone because I was missing messages of people asking how much do you charge for 3D motion designer? My brand is this, my brand is that. So leverage the internet, the platforms you even think. In fact, one of the most underrated platforms, I don't know why I didn't add it to my slides, is Reddit. You see that Reddit platform? That platform is crazy. Reddit, you can easily join a lot of subreddits and you get to see work there. So leverage the use of the internet, LinkedIn, Behance, Dribble, Instagram, Twitter, everything I've said, build your personal brand, make sure you show up every day. If you show up every day, you won't have a problem of people knowing you on this platform. And when I mean show up every day, I understand like design can take time. So maybe sometimes you don't have something to post. On Twitter, just post what you're thinking on. Sometimes make jokes. Post your work in progress, post the your struggles as a designer, post anything, post that you're resting, post that these are your mentors. Just make sure you show up every day on the internet. That's the only way that can that's the only thing that can aid your visibility. And the more visibility you have, the easier it is for you to land clients on the internet that will be able to pay you for the value you offer them. Right? Cold emailing and outreach. Leveraging the internet is one thing because that way they see you and they message you because they like what they see. But then sometimes that might take too long. So if they don't come for you, you go for them, right? And one of the best way to go for them is to cold email them and go to their LinkedIn email or whatever. Go to their website. Most times they usually have emails. I think in like 2 weeks or so, or last week, I sent like 6 emails out, cold emailing, just telling them, I'm Olito Eshe, this is what I can do, this, that, this, that. You probably get 2 responses out of 100, but those 2 responses might be what changes your life. You get what I mean? So code emailing, go to websites. And then one mistake people make online also is you tend to like maybe as a designer, you want to follow other designers or something. That's bullshit. It's okay to follow other designers because you want to see their work or interact with them. Yeah, definitely. You have to connect with people in your industry. But it's not other designers that's patronizing you. The people patronizing you are business owners, company CEOs. So those are the people you have to target your code emailing or code messaging to, and not fellow designers. I hope I'm making sense. Then finally, the oga pata of them all is actually referrals and clients repeating. In fact, I feel like beyond leveraging the internet, code emailing and stuff, referrals always comes first. And that's why even after you've charged for your value, you've charged your big money, make sure you do a good job so you can always have referrals and clients coming back. That's those are like you don't need to do too much. These things are simple, but they are not easy. That's the disclaimer. They are simple, but they are not easy. Showing up every day for 366 days is not an easy job. There are some days I wake up and I don't feel like, but fuck that feeling. You just have to go for it. Show up every single day. And when people hear showing up every single day, you think you have to like give yourself and give 100% of like your energy to the internet every day. No, there are some days where it's the barest minimum you can do to show up on the internet that day. And then there are some days you have so much energy to put into like, okay, making sure you are seen on the internet. But the idea is showing up every single day. The business side of creativity. Now, you've learned value-based pricing, but beyond all this is you have to have paperwork that protects you and your work and how you get paid, right? Always have contracts and negotiations. So in your contract, you have that you are getting paid 60% upfront. On completion of the project, you're getting paid 40%. You know, learn how to put your paperwork together. I don't want to go into details about how that works and all, but leverage AI and technology. ChatGPT can help you put together a proper contract for your project. Just give it like the context. It will give it out to you. Then you tweak it to get exactly what you're looking for. But make sure. In fact, it's crazy because well, I just left the channel on Slack recently. I recently got a um a job request, and it's like a lead actually, and the lead has been there since like January, and talking, talking. At some point, it felt like he wasn't interested. And then once he saw my reel, he was like, "Oh, now I want his attention, and let's get started with work and those kind of things." And then later in the day, he came back and said, when I have an update, I should let him know. Now, the thing here is, on my own side, I messed up because I didn't create a contract for the project. But there's one rule I have is that whatever work I want to start, there has to be paperwork. On his own hand, he's meant to send me paperwork, but he kept pushing it. I'm busy. I've been busy. I'm going to send you paperwork, but what, just get work on, just get working. We're going to talk about it and stuff. And I have to tell him plainly, like, I'm not touching anything until I get the paperwork. This was like around Monday that we had this conversation about paperwork. Tuesday or Wednesday, he came back and said he's been busy. He's going to send paperwork. Today he came back. He's been busy. He's going to send paperwork. That's an obvious scam. Because, like, what does it take to put together like a paperwork for a project? I had to leave the channel, had him blocked and all. Those are the things. If you are desperate and you say you want to make money and everything, then can fall victim to something like that. They'll tell you, just get started. I'm working on the paperwork. By the time I'm done, I'll let you know. But just get started working on stuff. So put all these contract and things into place to protect you, because that's the only way you can make sure you keep your money and you don't get used. Contract and negotiations are very, very important. In your contract and negotiation, put the logo options, put the revision options, put how much they pay once they pass their revision options, put the fact that you won't continue after a particular revision if they don't pay. Those things protect you from future headache. And these things are like, a lot of people shy away from it because can be very, very stressful to maintain. But it's good because it will help you to help you. And another omission from my value-based pricing actually is whenever you're pricing, telling client the price for a project, please and please always have, for any project in this life, always have minimum price of engagement, right? So say for example, as a logo designer, just know that, let's say as a logo designer, your minimum price of engagement is 10,000 naira. So anything anybody is saying that is 5,000 naira for logo or is 2K for logo, just know that that project is never for you. But any project that's going to get your attention is from 10,000 naira upwards. The first time I charged 100,000 naira for a logo, I was shocked. The first time I charged 100,000 naira for a logo, I was shocked. Someone paid. Someone paid. So just logo, not branding, no. Like just the logo alone. Just the logo alone. And the full project was like around like 600K for like the branding project. That's just it. That's how easy it is to make money. Have your minimum base price of engagement, and make sure you don't break it because of SAPA. And to avoid SAPA, always make sure your finances are in check. Budgeting, saving, investing, passive income. But for your value based pricing to work, make sure you have minimum price of engagement. Then you take it up from there. So yeah, that's the um business side of the whole thing. Contract and negotiations, licensing and right. Oh, sorry, for the understanding licensing and right, because you start working with international clients. I know in Nigeria it's a little bit loose, yeah, but like when you start working international clients, these things are very important. Like for fonts, you have to know. Recently, OpenAI did like a rebrand, and they had to create their own funds because they have to be paying the fund they were using before. They have to be paying the foundry. They have to be paying it and paying them like every year or so a huge amount of money. So the cheapest option for them is to pay a type designer to create their own type and receive. So those are like the you have to understand all those part of the business, like the licensing and the right. If you're working with international businesses, anything you don't know, make sure you make more research on it before you create like your own contract and negotiation. Career transition. Now another thing is if you're like in the creative industry, yeah, sometimes maybe you just feel like you hit the peak of the money you can make in a particular part, then you want to transition. That was actually like one of my major reasons to transition into 3D motion from graphic design. So one of the things you should have to do is don't jump blindly. Don't don't just transition like that. It's very dangerous. You can easily lose all the clients you have from like the current career you have, and then no money. And if there's no money, you can't easily transition into the new career. So don't jump blindly. One thing you have to do is you have to learn while earning. Now there are different ways to do this learning while earning. For me, I I what I created my daily schedule was I work during the day, do design works, everything. And then once it's night, I don't touch anything client or design work anymore. Fully 3D learning and everything. Then once it's morning again, back to design work. So that way I'm making money from design while I'm still learning from 3D because if I say let me quit design and just focus on 3D, waiting man go job. So if you're in that position where you want to transition into a new career, make sure you're still holding on a little bit to your old career, but create a serious schedule on learning for your new career. That way you're still earning, but one foot is already on the door, like the new career, right? Another option which I saw someone try was he was a chef before he became a 3D motion designer. So what he did was he worked a full year and saved while he was working as a chef, he saved enough money to take him one full year without working, right? So I think that was probably 2016. So 2016 he was working as a chef, worked a full year, saved up a lot of money so that 2017 he won't work. Then 2017 came, he just sat at home and started learning 3D. And then by the end of 2017, he was already a 3D motion designer, got to work with a studio, and the rest is history. So those are like the two things you can do. But I'm not really sure in Nigeria we have that kind of luxury where you can save up 1 year worth of upkeep to be able to just quit whatever you're doing and learn. So those are like the two options you can go for. You can either save up 1 year worth of upkeep, then use that year to sit down and learn, madly, or the best and easier options. It's just based on your reality. My own reality doesn't accommodate saving up 1 year worth of income to quit working. So what I did was during the day I designed, during the night I learned. And I was strict with it, like I make sure it doesn't bleed into the night where I have to do design. I was very, very strict with it. Discipline, actually. Because if you are not disciplined enough, it keeps the time you used to learn your new career that you're trying to go into keep moving forward and moving forward. And the sad thing about an industry that you're trying to move into, if you are slowing down, is the barrier of entry keeps getting higher. The barrier of entry keeps getting higher. So in order for you to learn very fast, but still making sure you're earning enough to be able to transition, you have to have a very strict schedule. So after work, you probably rest a little bit, and then in the night you pick it up, learn, morning back to working your normal current job, like that, like that. Now, when you are learning in the night, one thing that will help you get job in the new one is to create portfolios. My daily renders was insane and it has really opened a lot of doors for me. That was what I did last year to make sure I was disciplined enough to create work showcasing personal project, right? That's the only way you can give credibility for you to be able to transition easily into your new your new career. So yeah, while you're doing those things during the night, make sure you're building a portfolio that will help you easily get and transition into the new career. And then also apply past experience in what you're learning. So for example, design principles, that's color type, and a lot of others design principles, form and stuff. All those design principles translate into 3D. So it makes that part of 3D easier for me because I already learned as a graphic designer. So you can leverage on past designer to help you learn to transition into a new career easily. Case studies of people that have done this thing and my influences, people I look up to. So this is going to be I probably like almost wrap this up. Is the fact that if you want to really um if you really want to do something easily, there's someone that has done it ahead of you, right? Someone has done it ahead of you. And the best thing is the fact that they have a blueprint they followed. So the best thing you can do is just follow those people and just do what they do, and you get the result they got. I look forward to two people in the industry, Sekani and Yeseong. Yeseong is an Asian guy. Crazy thing now is I kind of have some sort of relationship with both of them now, which is where I say you have to actually leverage the power of internet. So as much as they're like my hero that I kind of look from afar, I leveraged on the power of Twitter to be closer to them. So now like we both follow each other on like Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing. So that's how like people that you look forward to as like a hero can go from being a hero to people that you actively like talk with. Yeah. So the thing about blueprints and people like my influences and how they make this thing easier for me is because one of them was like, okay, if I want to improve on my 3D skills, daily render is the way. Daily renders is the way. And that was exactly what I did. And I saw the result of what it meant by daily renders. Daily renders is the way. And it worked. So if you're a logo designer and you really want to be good with logos, and this is how you want to do your logos, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you want to design logo for big brands, you don't have to stress yourself to see, this thing is hard though. All you just need to do is find someone's story that is similar to the route you want to take. Anything you want to do right now, someone has done it. Career transition you want to do, someone has done it. The type of work you want to do, someone has done it. So why are you stressing yourself looking for new ways when you can just look for the person, study what they did, apply it, and get the same result? That's that's one of the things about case studies and influences, right? So because I post my personal project and all those kind of things, I was able to get um job requests and all those kind of things. And the only reason I was able to do that is my daily renders. And the daily renders was influenced by one of my influences because that was his blueprint. And I followed it and it worked for me also. You get? So influences and case studies are like very, very important thing you should follow. So if there's someone that makes $1 million as a designer, you follow the person like a madman to know what he's doing. And you have to do it. It doesn't stop with it doesn't stop with the research to know how the person is doing. It goes as far as practicing it. And most times the truth of the matter is some of these things that people do to do these things are actually like simple, but they are not easy. And that's where execution is where like a lot of people get it wrong. Like for example, like I told you, daily render is not easy. But I needed the results from it and I did it. And I saw it work for me. But like I could have talked myself out of more that thing. I know go fit dey do daily render every day. And I won't get the result. So don't talk yourself out of the processes that work for people, most especially the blueprints. I'll call them the blueprints that you look up to if you really want to get the type of result they get. Because people make it run like you don't do the exact thing they are doing and be like, I don't try some things with this guy do. I know they see the result, and then you lose the vibe to do it anymore. So make sure you get their blueprint, follow it like religiously, follow it. But more importantly is the fact that you can't follow everything you see because one of my influences was the one that quit his job. that that saved up 1 year worth of upkeep and then quit his job. I knew that was not my own reality, so I couldn't do that. So as much as you have someone's blueprint and how they did things, make sure you use your head and know that some of these things won't work for me. Right? I hope I'm making sense.
Yes,
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 you
yes.
are. You're definitely making sense.
Yeah. So um when you're when you're trying to make sure you have a lot of money in design, you have to avoid some mistakes. Number one is you have to make sure you are not underpricing yourself. And the best way to make sure you are not underpricing yourself is to know your worth, which brings us back to like value-based pricing, the value you are bringing to a brand. And the best way to know your worth, have that value, and have the confidence to even charge that amount of money is you have to practice, practice and repetition. So as a designer, if you've designed 2 logos before, you cannot gonna be charging one big money because you'll be thinking, hey, can I meet up? Can I do this? Not just 2 logos. But if you have designed 1,000 logos all over and all over and all over again by practice, you know you can, it's sure for you, say you should do this thing. You tell them, this is what I'm bringing to the table. And this is why I want to charge you this amount of money. And this is the value you get from this amount I'm charging you. And they'll pay you. But if you're not practicing every single day, and when I mean practice, I mean like you have to practice beyond client work, right? You have to, if you are doing logo for client work, yeah, that's fine. But you can go on a spree and do a 30 days logo challenge for yourself to address some things you are not confident about in logo design. It might look like something stressful or like it's not necessary or something, but it is because it's helping you get better in logo design, helping you get better to refining your process on how to design logos. And in return, you can charge as high as you want because you know that you know this thing and you know that this thing will bring value to that brand. And even from saying it, the brand they will feel the vibrations of the fact that this guy know they lie. Waiting this guy go do for us will happen. But the only way to do that is to build your confidence. And the only way to build your confidence is to practice every single day. Every single day. Like practice, even if it's 30 minutes. Practice design. Practice your soft skills. Practice your negotiating skills. Practice every single thing every day. You don't do it once in a while and expect to like nail it before you become a pro in it or something. So you have to practice this thing, build your confidence. For branding, we're talking about, I just gave you an example of my own poor branding where I didn't even have a contract to show someone and they almost scammed me. Those are like the kind of pitfalls you might fall into if you have poor branding. But you have a good branding, it increases your value, you can charge more, people know what they're paying for. Your personal brand is very, very, very important. Very, very important. Let me tell you how crazy personal brand is. You can see my DP is like very consistent. If you check all my social medias, the only place I didn't have it is LinkedIn, and that's one of the reasons I don't even like the platform LinkedIn that much. And at some point, I'll probably still update it. So there was this motion design event I attended last year, I think sometime in October, November, and once I went, once I just because I don't show my face, but once I mention my name, Oluto Eshe, the next thing they'll be like, oh, that purple DP guy from Twitter. That's how powerful branding is. The purple DP guy. That's just that's how insane branding is. So you have to learn how to like present yourself properly, do your paperwork properly, and make sure they know that your brand is not here to play. That way, you can charge more and make sure nobody waters down on how much you can charge or your value. You get what I'm saying? Lack of consistency, staying committed to growth. Remember when I said you have to practice every single day? You have to learn, leverage on AI, watch courses, practice all over again, practice the courses you watch. And one thing I noticed is like as designers, yeah, we tend to make these mistakes of um I'm working on clients' work and it's enough. In fact, let me not lie to you. As a designer, your recognition will come most from personal works where clients don't have a say, where you just go wild with your own creativity. And at least in a year, you have to do like one or two of those kind of work where it's not for clients, it's just for yourself, or to practice your skills, or to apply whatever you learn from a course. You can do a logo folio. The logo is not for any client. It's just for you to practice logo and apply whatever you learn from like a logo course or something. Practice a particular style of logo, be it a monogram or badge or something or sports logo, esports. It's not they don't those things don't just come to you like naturally. You have to practice them, stay committed to that growth. And that's the only way you can bring more value and you can charge based on the value you bring to the brand. Practice like your life depends on it. The power of community and collaboration. The power of community and collaboration. I am a testimony to that. Let me tell you, in fact, I won't talk too much on this topic. I'll just show you. So this is my Behance page, yeah. This is my Behance profile. And this is the first project on my Behance profile. But it's a collaborative project. You see multiple owners and all there. And you can see the amount of people. But the only reason the project was big is because we collaborated with a studio in Canada, Tendry Studio in Canada. And the only reason I was able to collaborate with a studio in Canada is because of a community, a motion designer community I joined called Batch. So don't joke with communities. That's why I love what the Clique is doing. Don't joke with the Clique because you can actually, it changes your life. The collaboration you can get from the Clique, collaborations you can get from community, from collaborations to change your life. When this project went live, this project with Tendry, right, went live, I had 7 followers. 7 followers. That was October last year, October or November last year. Now I have 450 followers. And the only reason it happened is because I collaborated with Tendry has how many followers here? 73,000 followers. Now imagine being associated with a brand in a studio as big as Tendry in Canada just because I was active in a community and we worked on a project and it's like it went viral and all those kind of things. And it's the ripple, look at the ripple effect in my own work, right? By the time I posted my own portfolio, my own personal project, the ripple effect was there. And I got even more followers. That's how important the power of the community and collaboration is. So whatever career you're transitioning into, or whatever career you're on right now, you want to make more money, join a community, collaborate with people in that community, you work with them, network with them, learn from them, mentor people. And that's the power of a community. You are not just learning, you're also teaching, which is one of the best ways to actually like um earn too, honestly, because consultation is some form of earning, you know. And even if you're not even charging from there, you earn more. You learn more what other people are doing to make money, or how someone landed a gig in Canada or landed a gig. It's only in a community you can get all those insider info. So something like the click, right? So communities and collaborations, very, very, very important. And those collaborations lead to better opportunities. Just because I'm associated with Tendril, I told you about getting a lot of DMs from um from from Behance these days. It's because of collaboration. And who is the owner of the community? His name is Olamide Roland. This first guy here is the owner of he's a Nigerian too. But because he's the owner of the community, he had more opportunities to like connect with studios abroad. Then from there we worked on it, and I was able to plug into the project, and I did my own part of the project, which actually even influenced a lot in the project. And this was like my first ever like 3D project, and it influenced the biggest part of the project. So it boosted my confidence. And the only way I had the confidence to do that was because I was doing daily renders. I was practicing every single day. Now I see how everything I'm saying is like coming together into one. So please take communities and collaboration seriously. To be sure I wasn't blabbing all this while. The the core of the matter and the summary of everything I've been saying, to make more money, build a very strong portfolio. When I mean strong portfolio, we all know what we are talking about now. Storytelling. Don't just post planned works. Tell us how you achieve. That's what the employer is looking for. How you achieve it. Diversify your income streams. Invest. Save. Invest in learning and networking. Buy courses. Practice every single day. Network with a pay for your click mentorship. Network with people and learn. Be strategic about pricing and positioning. Talked about positioning like online, your personal brand, your how you present yourself online, that leverage on the power of the internet, show up every day, and all those kind of things. Your pricing should be value based to get the most out of the highest people can pay you. They pay you for value. Collaboration is underrated. Please collaborate a lot. Collaborate a lot. Collaborate with people. We are not in competition with everybody or anybody. Collaborate with people, please. And that brings me to the end of my class or lecture, if I may put. If anyone has a question, please let me know.
The question tired. Are you guys tired? Of course, I'm not too. I don't know about you, but I don't know if you're tired. Okay, this has been really insightful. As in, I've gotten value, and I believe everyone on the call also has also gotten value. So this is where we begin to ask questions. I know that you definitely have a question. This is where we let you ask your questions, and we trash out whatever question you want to ask before we move on. So, do we have questions? Precious, Lydia, Eunice. Okay, Favor has a question. So let's hear from you, please. Okay, Solomon also has a
Oh,
question.
sorry. Uh, Hey, Toyosi. So, based on experience, we actually did what was it called? Um, what was it called again? Collaboration together.
Yes.
So, I wanted to ask, like, when you say value-based pricing, what does that actually entail? Like for instance, when I say, okay, perhaps I'm a brand designer, so I'm going to charge how a brand designer does. Like, I'm presenting the logo, mock-ups, colors, type to clients. So now, as a motion designer, as a 3D motion designer, what is the value that you really bring to the client, and like how would that tie into the pricing, for instance? Then let's say, for instance, how do you know if you're supposed to be charging $3,000, $1,000, $5,000 as well?
Uh, that's a very good question. So first, let's assume, yeah, okay, not assume you're a 3D motion. A client, a client approaches you and be like, um, we're a clothing brand. We need an animation for our clothing. If you don't take note of like value, value based pricing, all you just do is you know that okay, my rate is $5,000 for animation. So they'll pay you for $5,000. But then you could have said, oh, that's a really nice project. What's the clothing brand about? What are you trying to sell to people? They give you details of everything. And you can tell them this animation I'm going to do for you is going to make sure it gets sold out in 10 minutes. I'm just using as a context. And they'll be like, why? Why? How do we know it gets sold out in 10 minutes? And then you show them, oh, this is someone I did an animation for. This is what they got in return for it. And this is how it happened. It has happened before. And yours will not be an exception. Like, oh wow, this is crazy. That's really what we want. For this reason, I'll be charging you $15,000 for this project. It's different from this is how much I charge. And all. You already told them this is what they get. You actually told them this is what before, like the clients come in and you telling them you're charging $5,000, just be like, oh, we just see some fine clothes moving around in 3D motion, and that's what we get. But you're telling to them that it's not just fine clothes moving. They will get a lot of sales with that video, and this is how they will get a lot of sales from that video. They tend to be like, oh, nice, that's actually what we want. So we're going to drop more money because we are investing in making sure we get more sales from this video. Now, I'm just putting it into context. It's not like the conversation will go this straightforward, obviously. That's where your negotiation skills comes in. I hope I'm clear.
Okay, yeah, you're clear about that. So,
Yeah.
lastly, sorry, I'm trying to articulate my question properly. So let me give the mic to the next person. Thank you.
Uh,
Okay, Solomon, that's where you come in. Please ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, I can hear you.
First things first. Hi. First things first. Thank you very much for this section. Although I
Yeah.
came late, like I didn't know this section was holding. Like I was just, I saw your status and I was like, let me just check it out and see if I'll pick any value. And here I am.
Oh, okay.
Section was being
No
recorded.
problem.
I was wondering if the recording file will be shared or something. Then
Yeah,
the second
yeah, it
question
will
I
be
want to
shared on
ask is,
the
is there
YouTube
any
channel.
soft skill course recommendation you could give? Yeah, those are the two questions I have. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? So the thing you have to do is you I think you have to, I don't know if it's going to be shared somehow, or I don't know if you register for the event or something, but if so, they'll post it on the YouTube channel, the recap of the class, and then you can go through it all over again. Secondly, I don't know the what you're doing, and to know the kind of courses I'll recommend to you. What do you do?
Okay, so for your first question, I didn't register for the this webinar. I just saw your status and I clicked on the link. You know, the one you posted with the flyer and the link. So I just saw it
Yeah.
and clicked on it. Yeah, so I didn't register for the event. Then as
Oh,
for what I do, I'm a web designer and trying to branch into product design.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, usually I don't think I have like recommendations because I'm not a web designer. But usually, how I get to find courses that works for me is based on like what I explained earlier. I start from YouTube actually. So from YouTube, you look for like free courses, and then most times the people that are on YouTube tend to sell courses. So if you like what someone is doing and you know that they have value, then you follow them to whatever course they're doing. But you can definitely start from YouTube to get courses, and then from there you follow whoever you want to follow to get their courses that the courses they're selling.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you, and I quite understand where you're coming from. You see, there are many courses out there on technical skills or hard skills. So I was wondering if there is any course you could recommend for soft skill aspect, communication, pricing, and value, and the rest of it. I think that is more of a generic
Yeah,
knowledge.
you check out the future. That's Chris Do. Chris Do is the master of those things. Just check out Chris
Chris
Do.
Do.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Okay, Favor, do you have your questions together?
Oh yeah, I do. So
Okay.
when you talk about, sorry, can I go ahead now?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
All right, cool. So when you talk about cold emailing earlier, so I was actually thinking, so perhaps so when you reach out to these clients, are they like how would I put it now, more or less focused on what the client is actually doing, or I don't know, you just show them your portfolio and like, hey, I'm Toyosi, this is what I do. Because for instance, now we might all do 3D, but we might be focused on different things. Like for instance, now I don't do character animation. If I don't get involved in like things that are aside product animation mostly, and then let's say motion graphics, for instance. So now, how will you
Mm-hmm.
like sell your service to clients that actually require stuff like this? Like for instance, we have to make an ident for, let's say, a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So how
Yeah.
will you like
So
pitch to the clients?
so now the thing here is first you have to know what you want. Personally, I've not like messaged like a client based on maybe like if they have, let's say, a fashion brand for example, like this is what I can do for them. Me personally, the coding meeting I've been doing right now is because I don't want to freelance right now. I'm doing more. I want actually like a full time. So I've been coding mailing studios instead, and I just tell them this is my portfolio, this is my reel, and it contains everything I can do. So that's what the code emailing I've been doing. But if it's to code email a client based on like let's say if they are into fashion or something and this is what you can do for them, then that's where you like the value based stuff. So you actually just tell them the value you're offering them. You actually just tell them the value of what you're going to do for them, how it's going to help their business. That's what's going to be your code email. Because nobody really wants to random emails from people telling them I'll charge you so amount, without knowing why you're charging them. So you actually just tell them the the value of what you're getting. And as a freelancer also, when you're like messaging businesses, you don't tell them this is all you do. Or something. You market yourself as a freelancer. Whatever the business is doing is what you focus on. So if they decide to go with you and the animation requires a character animation, just make sure like when you're doing your proposal or budget, it involves you paying a character artist and you don't need to worry about that. So that's why like when you're code emailing like clients, it should be more value based. They just have to see the value for them to be able to respond to you. If they don't see value, you can get.
Okay, so if they don't see value, it doesn't really work. So
Exactly.
one
So
last
so
question.
sorry sorry.
Yeah.
So like so in respect to the question you're saying, you don't just tell them I'm focused on product and you just because whatever you do, you don't care is the fact that whatever they are looking for, you can employ someone to do it for that project for you. I know. Sure you get.
Yeah. So the last question is, so how do you like judge the matrix for, let's say, projects? Now, okay, well, how do you like judge the matrix? Like for instance, let's say I currently run a business. I'm trying to sell Bluetooth headphones. So now I need to know if the amount I'm going to spend on a Bluetooth headphone animation is going to like convert into like numbers. You understand? So clients don't really understand all these 3D jargons. What they understand is, okay, you make an animation, you're going to get an outreach of, let's say, um, 10 million views, and let's say 1,000 likes, for instance. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because the way I see it, you can't really game the social media network. So how do you like sell these ideas? Because, like, for instance, that my last post on Twitter kind of went
Yes.
viral. And to be honest, I really do not know how it happened because it's quite
Yeah, that's
surprising.
that,
I'm really not focused
that's
on
that's
growing.
how the internet is.
I
That's how
see.
the internet is.
So okay, but for instance, we were talking to clients, how would we like communicate this? Like we need to speak numbers rather than, oh, I'm going to make you something pretty, because not a lot of people are able to like visualize things in their head. So you have to like show them and hold their hands like, oh, here's what we can achieve, here's what we're going to do, and blah 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 like that.
So the thing here is if I want to go with studio ways of doing stuff, yeah, most times the biggest of the biggest clients usually just go with studios, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but how they go with studios is like the studios sending pitches. So it's not like it's the studio with the best pitch that wins the project. So it's not like they actually just go to a studio and be like, this is what we want. So most times, like if there's a project, Tendry will go, imaginary project, everybody will go with their pitch, and then the company will be like, oh, this pitch looks better, and all those kind of things. So it's in your pitch the way you tell them the value. I don't know how best to put this whole value thing, but I just use um the views and stuff as like a context. There's more to how you can put on value on like what you're doing to than just numbers, right? But the truth of the matter is, whatever value you're saying, you have to put the number you are placing on that value to it. You don't just call price of your project out just like that. What I'm just saying is whatever value, let's say for a Bluetooth headset now, another value you can put on it is maybe the way you are going to do the animation is going to appeal more to the younger audience, which automatically means there will be more sales because the younger audience listen to music more. You know, that kind of stuff might be what's inside the value you're trying to offer. And for this reason, we are going to need more resources to make sure it's tailored to that. And for this reason, we are going to be charging $20,000. If you are not putting all those reasons, maybe you could have charged $5,000 project. You get the idea.
Sure. I follow.
Yeah.
All right, that will be my last question. So I'll give the mic to the next person. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Favor, for asking your question. Lydia, do you have any question? Do we have any final question before we wrap up the session? Okay. So, in the absence of no other question, we want to say a very big thank you to our speaker first for, you know, sharing his wealth of knowledge with us, because this has obviously been over 2 hours, right? And we've all been glued from the very beginning to the end. It has been an amazing session, and I know that you can attest to it as well. So thank you to our speaker, and thank you to everyone that stayed to the very end. We really appreciate your presence, and let's get to do this in March, right? So in March, we'll be having another KSS edition. At the Click, we have our KSS series once every month, and we already have started planning for the next one, and the flyers will be out in a bit. So just like our speaker said this night, I know we have some 3D designers already. We have some graphic artists in our midst already. So find a way to collaborate with others. You could collaborate on a particular project. Just find a way to collaborate, and you never can tell where that project will land you, right? So that is it from our end. Thank you for staying put, and we really do appreciate it. For next step, this particular video, this particular series rather, would be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Once it is uploaded, you will definitely find out from our speaker. We get to share it on our social media pages, so you always find out when it goes up there. Now I want to give our speaker the mic to say his final words. And by the way, um, I think that's it actually. So I want to give our speaker the microphone to say his final words before we finally call it a wrap. So over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the Click, for having me. It's really a very big honor actually to consider me, worthy to to teach what I know and to share my knowledge. Most times I'm always like at work, so it's good to like take a little break just to teach a little bit of what I've learned so far. And
Okay.
I really hope that people, grabbed a lot and I just didn't talk through and there was no influence made. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for staying. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And finally, before I forget, for everyone that attended the session, I know that most of you used Twitter often. You could do well to share some of the highlights from today's session. And when you do that, don't forget to tag the speaker, and do well to as well tag the click. So that will be all from us tonight. Thank you, and have a beautiful night rest. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you once again.
All right, bye everyone.